few days away, Father's Day is this Sunday, and while lots of families will be celebrating, it's not an easy day for everybody to handle. Some people may have difficult relationships with their father, and getting together can bring up a lot of feelings of anxiety or sadness.
Yeah, and here with some tips for coping with Father's Day is psychotherapist Niro Feliciano. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure to be here.
All right, let's go ahead and begin. Let's say some people have, a rocky relationship with good old dad, but the family's getting together. What do you suggest that they actually do?
I first of all know that this is a hard day for so many people for so many reasons, so you're not alone. And I would say to begin with, when you're going into those family gatherings, deep breaths. We know that emotion and breath are very much connected, and we can bring down our level of stress with deep breaths, a longer exhale. But recognize that you need support. Maybe call someone who's going to be at the gathering. Let them know that this is tough for you. You want to stick together when the two of you are there, and focus on the people who you do have positive relationships with, and stay close by.
Such good advice, because sometimes it's hard to articulate your thoughts and feelings about things like this. So what about people who may be triggered by family gatherings altogether? And then, of course, there's the childhood trauma that resurfaces at those events. How do you deal with something that difficult?
This is a very big issue, Tamsin. And I would say first, we want to validate the feelings that we've had. We want to name those feelings. Sometimes they're all jumbled up and we just need to untangle them to be able to move through them. So name them. Are we feeling resentful? Are we feeling hurt? Are we feeling sad or angry? Take a moment to just sit in those feelings, and that helps us to process them and let them go. And I would say, one, we have to decide, is this gathering right for us? Just because you're expected to go, it may not be the right decision for you. So you need to make that depending on how you feel. And the other piece of this is that inner child work. We have the opportunity to reparent ourselves, giving ourselves the things that we deserved as a child and didn't get. So if we've internalized that critical voice from a father, maybe we need to stop and give ourselves a voice of compassion and self-kindness. If our strengths weren't validated, maybe we need to take a moment and just validate those things that we know that we're good at. And that too helps us to heal from some of that trauma that we've experienced when we were growing up.
Yeah, I think you've said it before, practice the power of saying no. It may protect you and how you're feeling.
That's right.
Speaking of feelings, we know that some people may be sad with Father's Day coming up. Either they may have lost their father, or maybe a father who may have lost a child. How do you suggest they deal with that?
This is also a very difficult day for people who are grieving. And just so you know, grief tends to open up exponentially on these milestones and anniversaries. So one, be kind to yourself. Be with people who you know understand how you're going to feel, who you can be yourself with. And also, even though this person is not with us, their memories can still live on through us and be passed from generation to generation. And it's our job to talk about them, to talk about the good memories, to really bring this person to life through our stories and sharing that emotion and joy with each other. So make sure you take the time to do that with people who might know, who have known your loved one, and who can share in that experience with you on this day.
And when you talk about people who may be affected, Father's Day can also be hard for men who are having problems with infertility. So a day to celebrate parenthood, of course, can be a difficult one, to say the least. So what would you say to somebody in that position?
We are seeing more and more of this, especially as time goes on in our culture right now. And I would say, again, validate your feelings. Talk about how you're feeling with someone who is empathetic and compassionate. I would also think about who you've been a father figure to already. Maybe you've been an uncle or a big brother, or someone who you've actually stepped into that role, and celebrate that piece and the impact that you've had on that person. And the other thing I would say is, don't give up. There's so many different ways to become a parent and a father, and focus on the good stories. Focus on those people who've made it through that struggle and eventually got to that place where they could celebrate this day in the way that they want. We don't want to give up on those hopes.
Yeah, so important to be talking about. It really is. Niro, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon to have this conversation.
My pleasure, and great to see you both again.
All right, we'll see you soon.